What's up, y'all? This video is going to be a short one, but I felt like it was at least worth making. I generally kind of stay away from these best accessory videos because I feel like they're kind of just an excuse to list every bit and bauble available for a given camera and provide an affiliate link for it. And don't get me wrong, all the links in the description are affiliate links. But I do think there's some actual value here. There are a couple of accessories that the S9 really needs, the first one in particular, so let's jump right in. First and foremost, you need to get a grip, literally. It's legitimately the first thing you should buy. I actually got my grip before the camera even showed up. I've only held this camera one time without the grip on it, and that's when I was installing the grip. I have the Smallrig one, and it's absolutely amazing. It improves this little camera's handling so much for so little money and basically no trade-offs. I seriously don't understand why this camera wasn't just made with a little grip like this molded into the case. It makes the camera so much easier to hold, and it's still smaller than even the smallest lens, so it doesn't functionally even change the size of the camera. Like, there's no situation in which the grip will be the thickest part of the camera. The lens will always be thicker. I guess if you frequently carry the camera with no lens on it, the grip might technically be the thickest part, but actually when I wrote this, I wasn't sure, and it's actually not even the cover, because, like even the body cap sticks out further than the grip. But anyway, but yeah, even if it did, we're talking like half an inch here, maybe. And number two, that's totally unhinged behavior. Like, why are you carrying it with no lens on it? It's useless like that. It does add a nearly imperceptible amount of weight and height to the camera, but I can't even come up with a situation where that would be the limiting factor as to like whether or not it fits in a case or something. The Smallrig Grip also doesn't block the battery door, so you don't ever really need to take it off, and the bottom of it has a built-in Arca Swiss plate for mounting it to a tripod. Next up, probably going to want a strap of some kind. I find that whether I prefer a wrist strap or a neck strap is entirely dependent on the situation I'm in. If I'm just walking around taking pictures while also doing other stuff, I prefer a neck strap. If I'm at a place where I can set the camera down when I'm not using it, I prefer a wrist strap. The wrist strap is much lighter and a less intrusive experience, but it's also super annoying if you're gonna try to do anything else. If you're walking around doing tourist stuff with the camera on a wrist strap, you have to wrangle that strap on and off and find a place to set the camera down every time you pop into a store or something and you need to pay for something that your insane child has spotted and cannot live without. It's a lot easier to just let the camera dangle on a neck strap while you reach for your wallet. I solved this dilemma by going with Peak Design stuff. The Peak Design anchors stay on the camera, and you can really quickly switch between a neck strap and a wrist strap. For the neck strap, I went with the Peak Design leash. It's their smallest neck strap, and it suits the S9 really well. It's very lightweight, to the point that it pretty much disappears into a bag when not in use. For the wrist strap, I went with the Peak Design cuff. It's just a wrist strap, so it's also very small and light. Both the cuff and the leash adjust really quickly and easily, and in typical Peak Design fashion, they're very well made. Peak Design gives you a little pouch with all of their straps. I now have like 4 of them. So whichever one is not in use can be tucked into that little pouch and just tossed into your bag, and then you can switch them out depending on which one fits your current situation better. Next up, battery life is pretty good, but the camera doesn't come with a battery charger. You can charge the battery in the camera via Type-C, which is very nice, and I do that a lot, but I also like to have like some backup solution. My favorite solution to this is the Smallrig battery. No, this video is not sponsored by Smallrig. They just happen to make these 2 things that I've mentioned so far, and they're generally a trustworthy brand. So if my options for a camera accessory are some random alphabet soup brand on Amazon and Smallrig, I'm going to go with Smallrig. These batteries are cool because they have a USB-C port right on the battery. The only thing required to charge them is a USB-C cable. The beauty of this setup is that your other battery can be charging while not inside the camera, which is pretty cool. It means you'll pretty much always have a fully charged spare ready to go. If you have access to pretty much any USB-C cable, you have a battery charger. And I can't help but go off on a tangent here and clarify that I mean any USB-C cable. Some cheaper electronics have a USB-C port on them, but only actually support USB-A style charging. USB-A chargers just supply 5 volts, no matter what, all the time. They don't care. Actual USB-C devices communicate with the charger to negotiate the charge rate. And if the charger doesn't get a handshake from the device, the charger will just not give you any power. As a result, some devices with a USB-C shaped hole in them will only actually charge with a USB-A to USB-C cable. And they'll do absolutely nothing if you plug them into a USB-C to USB-C cable. This is absolutely infuriating because that not only precludes them from charging you using your USB-C to USB-C cables, which makes you have to carry another cable around, but also if you have like a car charger that only has Type-C ports on it, or a modern MacBook that only has USB-C ports on it, you can't use those to charge that thing without also carrying around some kind of dock or adapter or something. I feel like this totally defeats the purpose of having the one port to rule them all USB-C port, and it really, really annoys me. Thankfully, the Smallrig batteries are legit. I was mildly worried since they came with an A to C cable in the box, but they charge perfectly on all of my USB-C devices. I'm charging one literally right now behind me on my Mac Studio with a Type-C to Type-C cable. I actually have 4 of these batteries because the S9 and the S5 II happen to have the same battery. I keep 2 in the respective cameras and 2 charged ones in my bag so I can always swap out to a fresh battery. Super useful when you're traveling or just shooting a ton of video. The last thing I want to mention is fairly niche, and you'll either totally need this or you won't have any interest in it at all, and that's the DJI Mic Mini. If you bought the S9 just for photography and you don't care at all about video, you can just stop here. Please like and subscribe. But if you're going to take advantage of the S9's impressive video capabilities, you probably need a microphone, and the Mic Mini is an awesome setup for relatively little money. You might notice that I am not using a Mic Mini. I'm using the DJI Mic 2, but that's only because I already had the Mic 2 set up with the 2 transmitters and a receiver and the charging case and all that before the Mic Mini came out. I did, however, buy the single Mic Mini transmitter. I think it's right here on the charger. Oh. This little dude, which I can barely hold. But I use this to pair with my Pocket 3, and it's absolutely amazing. If I had 0 wireless microphones right now and needed more than 0 wireless microphones, I would buy the Mic Mini, probably the kit. It's about half the price of the Mic 2 kit, and I think for most people it's just as good. Honestly, in some ways it's actually better. The transmitters are legitimately tiny. You could wear this on the lightest material shirt you own and it won't pull it down or make it hang weird. They have clips on them, and they also come with a magnet, and that makes it super easy to attach them to basically anything. Their size also makes them less noticeable on video, especially if you're wearing like a dark colored shirt with the black one. The maximum range is something completely insane, like 1/4 of a mile. So they're probably going to be fine for basically anything you might want to do. And the charging case holds everything neatly and keeps it all charged up when you're ready to use it. If you want good audio, the Mic Mini setup is a total no-brainer. I think that about covers it because it looks like I've lied about this video being short. If you like this video, it would be helpful if you would, well, like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. See you next time.